Hey guys, Patrick Gaffney's Guide Service here. Just wanted to show you another little quick tip, and tonight I wanted to show you about a different type of way of wrapping a plug or a quick fish for salmon fishing. So just got back from the river and pretty decent day, pretty high off-colored conditions, not the most ideal for salmon fishing, but we found success. And one of the things I wanted to show you that we found success was in wrapping my plugs. And we all know about wrapping plugs, sardine wrap, mackerel, tuna, all that sorts of things. But today I did something different. Tough fishing, river was on the rise, fish were a little off the bite. So what I decided to do was try something different. That was blend two different wraps together to try to get a little different scent trail out there. So I wanted to show you that tonight. So what I did was today I took my plug and I took a piece of tuna and a piece of sardine and I mixed them together. Now we usually when we do this, it's a piece of sardine or a piece of tuna or herring or what have you. But with doing this, it just gave the plug a little something different, and just I think it was that little extra tweak in smell that made those fish to go and gave us what I thought was a pretty decent day on the river. So just wanted to show you what I did. So I have my piece of tuna, just uncured piece of tuna belly, just a little chunk, about half the size of a normal wrap, and I put that on there first like so. And it's not going to look perfect. It's just going to kind of go on there whatever you want, just kind of go put it on there. Now I take my sardine. So you can see I got my little pair of pants, made a little patch, and I made the patch a little smaller than how I normally do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly overlay the two. So I don't want to completely cover up the tuna because I want that scent from both wraps, both baits, to be exposed. So you kind of just put it on there. It doesn't have to be perfect at first because we need to get a couple wraps on there to get a base to secure it, and then we can manipulate our bait to however we want on our plug. So I like using this is Fishfield spider thread, I believe. It's kind of like a magic thread or a miracle thread, if you will. So I take it, and now all you're going to do is your standard wrapping technique. You just want to be careful. You want to leave both meats exposed because you want that blend. You don't want the sardine wrap to cover the tuna and then you won't get as much tuna going off. So I do a few wraps up forward, just like you normally would. Just nice and lightly go back and put a couple wraps on the whole bait. So how I do it is I stop there. I kind of sculpt my bait a little bit. As you can see there, you can see both is exposed a little bit. And that sardine, that's just cured up in borax and then Pro-Cure Red Hot Double Stuff. It's a little higher water. I want something a little hotter out there, something to stimulate those fish and make a good scent trail. So I like heating up my gear, if you will. Slamola powder, garlic, anything along that sort of lines, just to kind of entice them a little more, heat your gear up so they can find it in that off-colored water. So anyways, got a few more wraps. And you can't overdo your wrap. So I didn't go too tight here because I want to stop and I want to make sure my bait's good and centered. That's the key when you're wrapping plugs. You want a good centered bait so it's easier to tune. So like that. I'm going to just kind of smash it down a little bit, and you can see the oil coming off that tuna and mixing with that sardine oil already. So kind of smash it down a little bit, move it around with your fingers, make sure it's all good and even as best you can, and then I go ahead and wrap. And it's going to look a little messy, but that's okay because a lot of people, they forget that when you put this in the water, a lot of that extra crud's going to kind of flake off a little bit, and that wrap's going to kind of even out the first couple minutes it's in the water. So go ahead and wrap, and you don't have to worry about wrapping it too much because all you're doing is you're just cutting it a little more and letting out a little more oil. So I just go back and forth, And I started from the top, if you notice, and I'm going to end at the top. So I got about 25, 30 wraps on there. And now what I like to do is I take it, go around once, and then I hold it up with my finger. I go inside. Instead of doing a bunch of half hitches, I just go inside the loop. Once, twice, 3 times. Pull it down tight, make sure it's all nice and even. And then you kind of work that magic thread back and forth, cinch it up, break it off, you're done. So there's my wrap plug with a mix of tuna and cured sardine. And this was doing quite well for us today. So anyways, guys, just want to bring you another little quick tip on how to tweak your wrap plugs a little bit. And this would work for today. We're fishing coho, but Chinook, spring Chinook, coho, chum. It's just a little different thing for the fish to smell and see, just a little different tweak, and sometimes that's all you need the fish to get to go. So if you've got any more questions, check me out on Gaffney's Guide Service on Facebook or shoot me a message, and glad to help you out. All right, thanks guys.